Can I ask you a question? Well, obviously, watching that game, yeah. What? Because I've seen so many people crying about the tackle from Lisandro. Right. Firstly, in my opinion, he won the ball. Yes, he was harsh. Listen, it's Arsenal Man United. That ain't ever a friendly. Before the game, I watched your video. You were spot on. Everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, we can't lose to them. You know, make a statement. Let's show how clear we are as Arsenal, clear from United." And your manager's coming out saying it's never a friendly game. We always knew there was going to be a few like some of the tackles on Garnacho, like were a little bit iffy as well. You know, Kieran Tierney, like at times as well, was a little bit okay, yeah. And then obviously, you know, we brought Thomas Partey on in the second half, and he didn't really do a great deal after that. I know there was wholesale. I think you changed the whole 11 at half time, didn't you? Or within the
whole we did the whole 11 bar the
whole 11,
10 outfield players, but the whole thing.
For me, all that highlighted to me that game, number one, Lisandro is a decent centre back, right? Yeah, and Saka needs to get up and just go, right, cool, I'm a target. Yeah, they're going to fly into me. But he did win the ball, by the way. Right, so anyone who wins the ball, I said this about Casemiro last season with that tackle, he wins the ball, he got sent off. For me, if you win the ball, you can't just press pause and stop. Yeah, and people say, oh, it's intent. Well, how do you know what he was intending? He's intending to win the ball, and he won the ball. So how's that? So anyway, my point stands at this, right? All that highlighted to me that pre-season game was that Eddie Nketiah is not good enough to play up front, and Kai Havertz is shit. That's it. And Gabriel's still got the Bozo gene. Oh, and the goalkeeper's on fraud watch because I thought we should have saved both of them. Yeah, so I didn't really learn anything that I didn't already know from watching that game. And I know a lot of people are saying it's pre-season night, you can't take it. And yes, it is all about fitness, but it's all about confidence as well. Yeah, and if you look at last season, we won every single game, I think, in pre-season. We then started the season and look at the season we had. Yes, I know there's been instances where Man City have lost every game. I think they lost pretty much most games last season, didn't they? And then won the treble. So I get it, but for me, it was like, right, we put pretty much our best 11 out other than Jesus and Zinchenko. For me, Zinchenko ain't the best 11 anyway. Yeah, so it's only Jesus missing, right? Tomiyasu, well, again, that didn't really show me anything I didn't already know. He's bang average. But there was 2 positions out of 11 that weren't strongest on paper. And I thought we were poor, man. Yeah, and I didn't watch us against the MLS All-Stars. I see the highlights, but I did watch that game. Yeah, and I thought, right, it's Arsenal Man United. I'll have a little look at this, blah, blah, blah. And, mate, I wasn't disappointed. Because, listen, it's a friendly, but I always want to win every game. But I was like, oh, we're not quite as good as everyone's making us out to be. And there's still some teething problems here. And then when you get Eddie Nketiah, if that was Harry Kane in that position, that's a goal. And that, for me, is the difference between coming second and coming first next season, or coming third and coming third. You get Harry Kane in them positions, one shot, bang, it's a cross goal, it's in the back of the net. And Eddie ain't that guy.
Do you know what I saw in that game with Arsenal? I saw Declan Rice and Kai Havertz have no relationship. And I saw the midfield, because it was two new players in with Odegaard. It looked disjointed. Where with Man United, you've added Mason Mount, but you've got Mainu in the team. Well. But Mainu has been training with the first. He played a few games for us, and he's been with the first team squad now for over a year. So there is a relationship there, and there was a connection, and we look like more of a team because our engine room was a lot of players. You literally had Mason Mount in there new, and everybody else in that team knows each other. Where you literally took out, you had a whole new central midfield essentially, and it looked lost. And Man United were able to work through it. I think what's going to be really key for me, I've thought a lot about this over the last few days. What Pep and Klopp and Fergie and many other managers, everyone will have examples of these managers, but I use them because of their regularity of winning league titles, both in England and in other leagues, is you don't need to start your players, no matter how much you sign them for, straight away. And I kind of look at it and think, Kai Havertz, the Premier League starts in just over 2 weeks. Kai Havertz, in my humble opinion, is not ready to start for Arsenal right now. If he does,
he shouldn't even be here.
Well, yeah, you believe, yeah. I mean, some Arsenal fans believe that. I don't think he's ready to start. And we have all heard Arteta saying press conference, I haven't heard, I didn't watch it, I just read the articles about it, that he has kind of said that, you know, Partey and Rice will start together. And I think this, for me, that's why I'm saying to Arsenal fans.
That's what we were under the impression as fans.
Yeah. I'm saying to Arsenal fans, I wouldn't overreact yet. Equally, I'd say to rival fans, don't start like rubbing your hands together and licking your lips thinking that, oh, this Arsenal experiment's going to fail, because you could watch against Barcelona in a couple of nights' time. You could have Partey and Rice start together and they look like a powerhouse, and suddenly you go, oh, wow. Where Arteta's got to be brave, ruthless, and smart is if a player isn't ready, whether it's Kai, whether it's Declan Rice, you don't force the issue because of what you spent. A prime example would be Fabinho when he came to Liverpool. Would be, you know, you look at players
Nunes.
like
Nunes was on the bench at the start of the season for Liverpool.
Nunes and then bled in. Rodri in his first season, yes, he wasn't as expensive, but you great examples. But you shouldn't force the issue. If someone isn't quite ready, you don't force it. You blend them in. Now we did it with Lissandro at the beginning of last season. He weren't starting all the games early on, and then he was bled into the team. We did it with David De Gea when he first joined the club 10 years ago. We slowly bled him into the team. It's been done numerous times by managers. And I think this is where you will assess Arteta as a manager versus a coach. This is a manager's job now to make this worse. Coaching, great. You can coach people all you want, but knowing who to pick. And he got it wrong at the end of last season. Should have dropped Partey earlier. Should have dropped Holding earlier, because you were a better team with Kiwior.
I disagree about Partey being dropped, by the way.
Oh, do you?
You shouldn't have dropped him earlier. Yeah. Listen, like, Saliba was a big miss. But that's why we needed another centre-back. He buys a centre-back, Kiwior, and then didn't play him. Yeah, he was playing Holding. So now you've got Gabriel, who was literally brilliant from Christmas or when the World Cup finished, come back, he was superb. Whereas before the World Cup, Saliba was superb. But together, over the season, as a duo, they were pretty formidable. But then Saliba gets injured and he goes, I don't fancy the new centre-back, we'll put Holding in. But now Thomas Partey's running around like an idiot, trying to cover, and we're all over the gaff. And I don't blame him for that. I blame the club for that. Yeah, the manager's got to take responsibility. You're putting Rob Holding in over a centre back that you brought in January. And I said to you on this show, weird signing to buy a centre back from like a Polish centre back in January. That was a summer sign. That was like a now signing. Give him a pre-season, off you go, which is why he never played him, because he didn't trust him to be able to be good enough of that level at that time. So he trusted Rob Holding more. And ultimately, that pretty much ended our title hopes. And everyone will put it on Thomas Partey and Rob Holding. You've got to take into account Saka ghosted for 8 games. The goalkeeper was shocking.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. And we'll have everyone will have a different opinion on who. But this is where you need your managers to be ruthless and not just say, right, you're going to play for the sake of playing. And has he learned from those mistakes? I want to go to some of the super chats that have come in here. The first one says, okay, so that's a weird one. Partey didn't play either. Big loss. Look, Partey didn't play. Look, it'll come fit.
Well, he came on in the second half and Man U barely had a chance. He's our most important player. I don't think he's our best player, but he is our most important, because when he's on the pitch, like, I know he has like everyone has a shit game, Terry, yeah? Like, I've seen Casemiro get absolutely run through against Liverpool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone has a bad game.
Yeah.
But Thomas Partey, when he's on the pitch, I'm more confident that we're going to have a good midfield. Even with Xhaka, and Xhaka had his best season. Odegaard had a great season, his best season in terms of goals. Yeah, so that 3 last season, when they were together, soon as you start changing it around a little bit, all of a sudden, okay, now Rob Holding's in the team. Partey's thinking, right, I've got to drop back a bit more. And now he's just running around like an idiot. Yeah, and then doing stupidness. Like, look at the game against West Ham. I think it was Declan Rice who tried to flick the ball over him. And it's like, that's because, like, we're just drawn at Anfield. We're now, oh my God, like, all of a sudden you get knocked out your rhythm. People do stupid things, and that's pressure. Yeah, but Thomas Partey, for me, is our most important player. Take him out of the team, we're worse.
Yeah, I mean, the fact you're keeping him, it changes how I feel about Arsenal as a rival. Keeping him with the addition of Declan Rice, you think that is such
keeping him as it stands.
As it stands, yeah. Well, I did read one report.
Anything can change. Saudi might come in and offer 100 million.
Yeah, and then you got to do it. This here says Eric Ten Hag puts down markers in friendlies. Look against Liverpool last year, beat them in pre-season, plus third game in Arsenal, fourth game in this year. Yeah, look, I think there's a bit of I think that there'll be an element of psychological advantage for Man United in terms of, well, we know we can dominate the ball, we know we can score goals against them. I take it with a pinch of salt though, because competitive football is different. But I think pre-season's used for fitness, but it is also used to get confidence into people. So I look at it this way. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all to have won the way we did, but it's nice to. I would much rather be playing well and winning friendlies than not. I'd much rather
It builds that momentum as well.